I, as a government and also as first speaker, believes that children is like a spirit for our generations. Children is like our future, and also as a young learners to create the better world if they are become a good persons in the future. But to make them all happen, to achieve them all, we have to remember that we have to discipline them. How? Of course, the first thing that we have to do is to teach them and also try to instruct them in a good way. But somehow, there are a lot of experts sometimes not agree if corporal punishments established as a as a punishment, but in the parent's perspective, it is look in a good way. Parents have their right to spank to make them a good persons by punish them with the corporal punishments. Now we talk about the corporal. Now we talk about the spanking children itself. What is the spanking children itself? It's like a punishment to the children from the parents to avoid the children make the bad things again and again and try to make them learn a lessons. And then spanking children also to reduce the undesired behavior happens in the future, because we know that preventing is better than curing. Remember, here, if we're spanking children, we have to remember that it is not for hurting the children, but it's only make them understand and also not hurting them physically or mentally. It is only allowed in selective situations, not all these situations. Like, we have to spanking the children not in the public situations, not in front of their friends or something like that. And beside that, we have to remember that children have different characteristics. Sometimes they are naughty, sometimes they are not listening, and sometimes they have their own things without things twice, because this is the big problem that we have in children. So now we, as a parents, we have to believe that spanking children should be allowed, because it is for their good. And then we're talking about these things. Everything that children do, it becomes responsible for their parents. So that's why, as a parent, we have to be aware what they are doing for their child. And our second speaker will talk about a lot more about the parents' right, and also talking a lot more and more deeply about the everything happens. The good things will, the bad things will give them consequences. And the next one will be talking about the different characteristics that children have. And I think that's all. Thank you.
Okay, here I am as a second speaker here. As the first speaker told us before, that spanking children is not the only choices for the parents. So it's like the last choices, or maybe another option for parents to make the children's discipline. So in government side, we talk about that spanking children is like the last choices for the parents. Maybe when the parents doesn't have another punishment to make the children discipline, so parents can use this kind of spanking children. Okay, maybe people will think that, or another parent thinks that spanking children will hurt them physically or mentally. But here we talk about spanking children just to make them respond or understand about their behavior or undesirable behavior. So here, it will not make them hurt physically if parents do that without rage or maybe overpower, and will not make them hurt mentally if the parents do it in their house, in private place, not in front of the public or maybe in front of their friends. And if we talk about the human right, it's like what the first speaker told us before. Okay, human right about children right or maybe kids right. Okay, kids have a right, but parents also have rights here. Why? Because when children do bad things in outside, in their school or maybe in their environment, will be parents' responsibility. So if the children don't discipline, do bad things or maybe do violence to their friends, so the parents will be responsible for everything or every bad things that children do. So that's why parents have responsible. If parents have responsible to make the children discipline, so parents also have responsible to choose the right punishment or maybe the right things to make the children discipline or not do bad things. Okay, about this parents' right. Okay, parents' right. I already told you about their to make them discipline with this spanking children. Parents also have another choices, like when parents not only wait for their punishment, but also parents also have like rewards for the children when they do good things. So here, spanking children must be balanced with another rewards when they do good things. For an example, when the children do the violence or maybe do bad things, parents can give them like a verbal punishment or maybe another punishment to make them understand. But when the children still do that things again and again, so parent can have another choices like spanking children to make them discipline. And for the good things also, parents should make it balanced between punishment and also rewards. So when the children do good things and help another person or others, so parents can give them like rewards to make them understand. If good things will give good things to you, and if bad things will have bad consequences for the children, just to make them understand, like give them an example. And also about the characteristic, just like what the first speaker told us before, because children have a lot of characteristic, right? So maybe for another children, they just can understand if the parent just told them to stop do this bad thing, or just give a suggestion or just give an example, they will understand. But how about another parents who have another children with another characteristic? So to make them understand, maybe the parents, it's hard just to give them a verbal punishment or just give them suggestion or example, because different characteristic need a different treatment and also different punishment. So that's why this kind of punishment like spanking children sometimes needs for parents have another kids who like rule breaker children. So it's hard for them just to give an like suggestion or we just told them to stop. So that's why spanking children can make them respond about their bad behavior. And that's why this kind of spanking children sometimes needed for the parents to make the parent have another choices to make the kid discipline. And this spanking children already happened for many years ago. A lot of people in many years ago they do these things. And as you can see, a lot of old people they are respect to their friends, respect to their parents. Why? Because the parents already do this. They spank their children when they do bad things to make them understand about that bad things that they have done. And also from American Academic Pedestrian Journal said that 90% of parents in US they spank their children, and this already reduced of the bad behavior that kids usually do. So if already have the evidence, this spanking children can reduce their bad behavior and also can make them disciplined. So why we have to make the parents or limit the parents to choose the right punishment for their kids? Because parents know better about their children, so parents can choose what is the right punishment for the children. So here as the government side, we totally agree if spanking children should be legalized to make the parents have a choices to make their kids or their children disciplined. Thank you very much.